Discovering Asian dramas back in 2018 was an enlightening moment for me, and I've never looked back. I enjoy talking about them just as much as watching them, so much so that I decided to create a podcast with a heavier focus on Chinese dramas but passing through Korean, Japanese, Thai and Filipino dramas. Welcome to the Tea and Soju Asian Drama Podcast, your corner for drama talking. For more tea and soju content, consider joining Patreon, where I release extra reviews and polls. Everything is linked in the episode description. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Tea and Soju Asian Drama Podcast. I'm your host, Liliana, and this is a post-recording message. So basically, the episode you're about to listen to is the Starry Love review with Jess from the Day Back K-Rambles podcast. And we had so much fun and so much to talk about that the episode ended up being 3 hours long. So I decided to cut it into two parts. So the episode you're about to listen to will be all of the non-spoiler section of the Starry Love review, and next week I will release a part 2, which will be the heavy spoiler section for the review. So I hope that's okay, and I hope you guys enjoy listening to this episode just as much as I enjoyed recording it. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Tea and Soju Asian Drama Podcast. I'm your host Liliana, and in today's episode we are doing the Starry Love review with a very, very special guest who I'm super excited to introduce you guys to, and that is Jess, and I will let her go ahead and do her intro.
Oh my God. So my name is Jess and I'm the host of the Deba K-Rambles podcast. So I mostly deal with K-dramas on my end, but I love C-dramas. I've watched a lot of C-dramas over the years and I'm thrilled to be here. Liliana, thank you for having me. You know what? I'll have to tell people that I basically invited myself on the podcast.
But I'm fine with it. I was so happy that you reached out, so it's fine.
Because you had been posting about the Starry Love, and of course I was like, ear to the ground, nose to the ground, whatever it is, ear to the ground.
It is
with the show, and I was like, oh my God, I have to watch the show. And I was like, if you're doing an episode, just let me. I'll be on it. I'll watch it. Like, when can we do this? And I'm thrilled. I'm so excited that you said yes. I'm so honored to be here. And yeah, so that's my little intro.
When you reached out, I was like, I had been thinking about it, and I was like, Jess would be perfect to do this episode with, because I feel like we will have a lot to talk about, and I feel like we tend to like a lot of the same things when it comes to Xianxia especially. And I was like, I feel like she would, but I was like, I don't want to just go in her DMs and be like, just watch it all so we can do the episode.
Just watch the whole thing.
Just watch it. So I was so happy when he reached out, because I was like, this is perfect, because I had it been in the back of my mind anyways, so it's great. So for today's episode, it'll be a very split into two parts. The first part, we will just go through everything that the drama entails, and it will be non-spoiler. We'll just go through our overall thoughts about it, what we enjoyed without giving any spoilers. So if you haven't watched it, you can listen to the first half, go watch it, and then come back for the spoiler part in the second half, which there's a lot to get into in this drama when it comes to
we'll
spoilers.
Get into it.
We will. I'm sure, because there's so much to get into. But before we go into that, I will just give the MDL description and then just some general information about the drama, because you know what? I feel like you describe, when I listen to the Daybug podcast, you describe the dramas so well, and I feel like I haven't honed that capacity yet, because I tend to ramble a lot and then I get sidetracked so
what
much.
happens is I literally just read
what
is it, like the My Drama List synopsis or the Asian Wiki synopsis, and then I make fun of it if it's a bad description.
Oh my God, the descriptions sometimes
they're awful. So then I'm like, this is
makes
terrible.
No sense.
Yeah, it makes no sense. So that's all I do.
Half the time I'm like, I'm not sure this is the drama that I watched that's being described here, but for this one, it's actually not too bad, but it does just like scratch the surface, I think. So, the MDL description reads: The queen of the human tribe gave birth to twin girls, respected by the entire tribe. The older sister, Qingqi, who is gentle and kind, is betrothed to the heavenly prince. The younger sister, Yetan, smart and cunning, shunned by her own people, is betrothed to the demon prince. Due to a mix up, the two sisters are married off to the wrong husbands. It paves the way for the two beautiful romances and also ignites a conspiracy that shakes the four realms. See,
Whoa.
well, it definitely literally shakes the four realms, doesn't it? But actually, I don't think that's too bad because it does
No.
just give you like the overall plots of what the drama is.
Mm-hmm.
It is at its core two sisters who, complete opposites, but get swapped and marry supposedly the wrong guy that end up
Mm.
being the right guy, but so, the Starry Love is 40 episodes of about 40 minutes each. It's adapted from the novel Xinglu Ning Chang Tang, which no like roughly translates to Love When the Stars Fall. And actually the drama name right from the beginning, it had been Love When the Stars Fall. They had a little change of heart at some point and changed it to The Starry Love right before it started airing,
Huh.
but that wasn't the original title. So yeah, and that was written by Yu Du Jun Hua. It was directed by Chu Yu Bun, which both Jess and I'm sure, will be very familiar with. He is the director of Ashes of Love and great others like, the Eternal, not the, see, I'm about to say the,
Don't
and
do it. Yeah, yeah.
that's a different thing. This is a different thing. Eternal Love of Dream and Skate into Love and The Blue Whisper. So he's done a bunch of Shiansha dramas. So yeah, see, this is why I never call it Eternal Love. I always go, 10 miles of peach
Yeah,
blossoms, or
that's all I
because
call it too.
it's I don't know. It's because people might end up getting it confused with the Eternal Love, and that's a
But like,
whole different drama.
tell me why there's like 12 Eternal Love shows.
I know, I know,
It
I know.
Pick another name, you
Chinese
know?
dramas, I think that's one of the things I will always pick at them is like they are the worst at naming their
The
dramas. Like
worst.
there's like sometimes they'll end up with 10 love something. It'll always be love
Love
something.
something. Yeah.
You bet there's like at least in a month a couple of shows that have love in the title. So
Original.
God,
Original.
I know. So the screenwriter is Ma Jia. She also did Skate into Love, and she's also the screenwriter of Ashes of Love.
Oh
Um,
Lord.
and
It's all clicking into place now.
I know. So basically, this is starring Chen Qingshu as Yu Qin. I'm only going to give him that name because I'm not going to go through, every
The
single
50 other names.
yeah, his other multiple characters at this point. So we've got Li Lanji as Ye Tan, we've got Chen Mushi as Chao Fang, and He Xuan Lin as Qing Kui.
Yeah.
So funnily enough, there's four main characters, but the only character that was dubbed by a dubber, a professional dubber, was our prince from the Void Realm. So Chen
Okay. Well, I
Mushi,
have questions. So
go
everyone
for
else
it.
did their own dubbing?
Yep, yep,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Then I have
So
issues. I have issues with Teng Chingshu's
Qingshu,
dubbing.
so
Um
yeah, he did his own dubbing. Li Landi did her own dubbing, and He Xuan Lin also did her own dubbing for this.
I mean,
Um,
everyone else was fine. It was literally just Yuchin's character that I was like, what is he doing? It is so distractingly deep
his voice is
and
really,
it
really
doesn't
deep.
match him, I thought.
Yeah, so his if you listen, like I listen to a lot of his interviews, that is actually how his voice
I just
sounds.
can't stand it. And I don't
It's
know why I
really,
never
really low.
noticed before.
Yeah, because
I
you've
don't know
seen
why.
him before,
I've
haven't
seen him
you?
before. Yeah.
But maybe he wasn't dubbed in that one. Maybe he was
Perhaps.
dubbed in that
Perhaps.
drama, but I don't know. I have seen him in I can't remember the name. I think
No,
it came
I
out
watched him
last year.
in Goodbye My Princess. Still recovering. from that show
See,
because it
this is
was
why I haven't
amazing.
gone. This is why I haven't gone into that show because I've heard it breaks your heart
Well, the
into.
thing is, it's if you like inks in your C drama, definitely give Goodbye My Princess a shot. But be buyer beware because that like broke me into little pieces. It does not have a happy ending, like
Exactly.
spoiler alert. And everything is so great and high stakes and the romance is like amazing. So I don't know. I don't have a lot of people to talk about My Princess with because I think people do avoid it because they've
Because it's
heard such
heartbreaking.
things.
Yeah. Because
But
we've
but
heard the pain. So,
I watched it without knowing what
oh
the,
yeah, yeah, that's
at
true.
all. So I walked into it like la di da and then came out just wrecked. So
I
there
feel
you go.
like I can do it, but I just have to be like in a very specific mood for it,
Oh yeah.
for that type of drama. Like I can't go in. I've said it many times. I'm a complete mood watcher, so I have to
Uh-huh.
be in a mood for like a certain type of drama. I can do pretty much any genre, but I have to be in the mood for that genre. Otherwise, it's just not gonna click, no matter how good that drama is. So, yeah.
Wow.
When
Okay.
I need a
So
good
this is
cry, when I need a good cry, that'll be the drama I'll go for.
you need a good cry. I mean, it's shocking. Like the whole thing is just um stunning and shocking and heartbreaking and I don't know, it was a 10 out of 10 show for me, but like I don't know if I'd watch it again cuz just it just,
Well,
you
look,
know.
I've got people listen to the tea and soju because of Chinese dramas, so I'm hoping you'll be able to find some people that have watched Goodbye My
Yeah,
Princess to chat with.
reach out to me to talk about
Go
Goodbye My
ahead.
Princess.
Go follow Jess because I love your content. I really do. So
Oh, thank you.
um so yeah, this one it was filmed. Filming began on September 29th, 2021, and finished on January 6th, 2022. So a year post
Wow.
production. That's a really long time
It
for.
is.
Well, for Xianxia, you'd probably say at least 6 months post
Mhm.
production, but a year that. And I actually think this has been approved and greenlit for quite a while. Yoku has just been holding on to, you know, well, last year, first half of the year, it was scandal after scandal, and like barely any shows could make it through Chinese drama land because everybody was
Jesus.
getting done for, what's the word for tax evasion, and then there was just a bunch of stuff happening. And I think all of the networks were like scared to release their dramas in case,
Something happened.
something
Yeah.
happened. Because that is, I mean, there's no way around it. If a storm is going to break, a storm's going to break. And
Mm.
obviously a lot of these storms break when people are at the height of their careers. So if you've got a show that's going to go big, people are going to go digging for answers.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, but even though, so this drama completes what has been dubbed as the Honey Trilogy, and basically the Honey Trilogy is Ashes of Love, Skate into Love, and now the Starry Love. Common theme of the love, and basically the reason
They're all love
why.
stories. Is that why it's called the
No,
Honey Trilogy?
so basically it's not that big of a deal, but the director for this, which I didn't write the name of the director, so, but the director, the screenwriter, and no, the producer dubbed it the trilogy, the Honey
Okay.
Trilogy. And it's because, so the producer, the director, and the screenwriter all worked on the three dramas. The three
Uh
dramas are completely separate, no, different authors, different characters. There's nothing linking them. And the only reason he dubbed it the Honey Trilogy is because in the original titles, they have some sort of like sweetness to it, whether it be honey or love or something. And that's the only reason. So people like get really confused and go, oh my God, this is the Honey Trilogy. And I was like, well, yeah, but it's not really that meaningful. It's just the producer decided to dub it the Honey
oh.
Trilogy
This
because,
is like a PR thing.
Yeah. Basically, like a
Like,
lot
oh,
of
the Honey trilogy. And
yeah.
it's like, stop trying to make fetch happen.
But it basically kind of works in the sense that, both Ashes of Love and Skate into Love were pretty big dramas. So it's
Uh-huh.
like people will want to check it out because, it was produced, directed, and screenwritten by the same people. So they're
Uh-huh.
like, oh yeah, let's check that one out. So it gives it a little bit of boost in PR. But yeah, it's literally the only reason is because the producer dubbed it the Honey Trilogy because they all have some kind of like sweetness to their original titles. So that's it. And I'm like, when I first read it, I was like, really? Really? Is this it? I thought there was going to be more to this thing.
Something more thematic or like
Yeah.
grand about it. No,
No, that was
not
it.
really.
That was it. And just lastly, for my little facts, the OST was produced by Sa Ding Ding, who I love her. Like her voice is stunning, and she has it.
I, God,
What?
sorry.
Don't
I was
don't.
gonna say that the OST is fire
It's so good,
for
isn't
this
it?
show. I love it. It's amazing.
She like you will know who she is because she produces for a lot of stuff and like she has this very grand operatic voice. Do you know that bit in the main OST, so the opening OST where it like quietens down and then a female voice? That's Sa Ding Ding, like that's
Mm.
her voice. So is it not only is she a brilliant producer, but she's a brilliant singer. So
Hmm.
that main OST is actually sang by Liu Yuning, who is the king of OSTs in my opinion. Like that man does no wrong when it comes to. He did the OST for Love and Redemption, I believe. He did the
Oh,
OST for.
jeez. I just got off that one.
Well, that's a wild ride, that one, isn't it?
Talk about wild.
I will say though, it does have a pretty satisfying ending. That one does, but
Sure.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
A lot of people, it's quite funny, a lot of people compared Love and Redemption with Ashes of Love because of like the female leads and like where their characters come from.
Yeah, I see
But
that a
mm,
little bit.
i'm
A
still an
little.
I'm still a Ashes of Love,
I
pure
mean,
fan through and through. I mean,
yeah.
that one's always going to be like going to have my heart in a
It's a
grip.
I know I think you've heard the Love Between Fairy and Devil episode that we did on Debak,
I
but
did.
Ashes of Love is on my like Mount Rushmore of C dramas
Yeah.
that I love. So, I mean, you're not going to hear me complain
No.
about Ashes of Love ever.
No, I don't think. Do you know what? Somebody, a friend asked for a recommendation, and I said, and they'd just gotten into Chinese dramas, and their first drama was Love Between Fairy and Devil, and I said,
Oh,
the thing is, it's really hard to go from the love between
yeah.
fairy and devil because it's kind of, yes, for xianxia dramas, if you're a fan, you kind of know the beats a little bit, but
Mm.
not a lot kind of reaches where love between fairy and devil kind of is. So it's really hard to like direct people to others after that one. And I said, look, it has a really high episode count, but just trust me, just try Ashes of Love. And actually, Google must hear you, or like your phone must hear you, because I was on YouTube and they like brought up clips from Ashes of Love, and there's me like going downhill, just Ashes of Love clips on YouTube. And I was like, I still love this. I still remember a load of these
Yeah.
scenes. So
Same.
I do worry. I was like, I do worry sometimes because I've been tempted to go back and rewatch it, but I'm also like slightly petrified that I'm not gonna love it near as much
Girl,
as I loved it
I
the
feel the
first
same
time.
way. I feel the same way about it. And same for actually not so much about 10 Miles of Peach Blossoms because I have rewatched that one. I'm like, this holds up. Okay. It's really good. But Ashes of Love, like I just want to keep it on that
Yeah,
pedestal. I
yeah.
don't want to touch it again.
I don't want to knock it down.
No.
I need to go. I need to go and check Eternal Love because I did check it out like a good 2 years ago maybe, and I was like, oh, it's not really for me, and I didn't really get into the story straight away. But to give
Mm.
its due, I only tried 3 episodes, which for a xianxia, it's nothing. Like, you need to give it at least a good, 10
Hold on, hold on, hold
episodes.
on, hold up, hold on.
I
Are
know,
you
I
telling
know.
me? Oh wait, are you telling me you haven't watched 10 Miles of Peach
No,
Blossoms?
I haven't. I haven't. I'll hold my hands up. I haven't. I know it's sacrilege, really.
That is unbelievable. Liliana, I'm telling you, that was one of the, it's on my Mount Rushmore. I love it. And yeah,
See,
it takes a minute to get into it because she's that it's not like love story right off the bat. Like it's a lot of,
mm,
there's a battle and all this stuff and like there's twins involved and like it's just you'll see.
and the thing is,
It
right,
takes a
I
minute.
before, like, I know a lot of people that was saying, oh my God, it's so good, it's so good. um but it was people that I don't really deal with on like a daily basis, if that makes sense.
Mm.
But like, now, I know you love this drama, and see, I think it's C Drama Mum on
Uh-huh.
Instagram. I follow her
Uh-huh.
as well, and she loves this drama, and like a bunch of people that I actually follow and interact with, and I know, like, I trust their judgment well enough. I'm like, oh, maybe I do need to go back and check
I
it,
think you
because
should. And I remember feeling like I guess I had more time back then because I remember watching the first few episodes and I was like, I see that they're setting it up, but this is taking a long time to
yeah.
kind of get to where they seem to want to go.
Mm.
And then once the plot kind of gained some traction, I was like, I can't stop now. Like, what does sleep mean? I've never heard of her. And like it was really just a journey. And the plot ebbs and flows, and you a lot of angst involved. And
This
oh
is
my
this is
gosh,
literally me with Ashes of Love. Like,
you have to watch it.
Ashes of Love,
It's an epic. Like these Ashes of Love and 10 Miles of Peach Blossoms are both like xianxia epics,
I know,
right?
I
High
know.
episode count, high fantasy, multiple lives. Like you have to watch.
And that, I don't know. I think it is that this one takes a little bit more build up, and I think I must have just not been in the right, place or whatever, and then just ended up not going back to it. But I feel like I need to give it like a fair shot and just, go back to it and try it again.
Mm.
Especially because, like, I we're not gonna get any more dramas that are going to be that length and that well built.
Yeah, they're kind of
No.
like unicorns now.
Yeah, yeah, they won't be coming our way. So I feel like I just need to. And then actually, I've watched, by that point, it means that I've watched most of the Shianchas out there. So I'll probably just want to save for whatever else I've got left of them. But yeah.
uh,
I feel like I need to give it like a I the thing is, at the time, I started with Chinese dramas, but then I went like into a full-blown K-drama place,
mm-hmm.
and I stayed in it for like a good few years. Like, I'd watch a Chinese drama here and there, and then it kind of like started to switch a little bit more, and like C dramas kind of like, caught my attention. But I must have tried it when I was like deep into that K-drama place, and I was like, oh, I think it's like 60 episodes or something. 60 episodes. I've given it 3 episodes. That's enough. When, realistically speaking, when you're talking about a Xianxia,
It's
no,
10.
it's
10
10 at
episodes.
the
Yeah.
very least.
Yeah.
10 at the very least, and then make your choice. So I feel like I need to go back and check it out again. So, look out. I'll invite you back, and you can come and chat to me about it all over again.
So excited. Okay, just tell me when and
We'll do
I'll
it.
be
We'll do
there.
it.
All
Right.
right.
We'll do this. Right, that's it. That's all the info out of the way. So shall we get into this, because we have
Okay,
lots
let's
to
do it.
talk about.
Oh my god, let's go.
So let's start, non-spoiler section for the time being. So I've written down some questions, and we'll just use them as like jumping points. So
Absolutely.
without spoiler, what were your overall thoughts on this drama?
I thought it was very, very good. And there were certain parts of the show that I was riveted. I was so excited to press play on the next episode, or they would end on a massive cliffhanger. And I was like, oh my God, I have to keep watching.
Mm,
And it was very binge worthy for large parts of the show. And then other parts of the show, I was like, I think I can wait. I don't
mm,
feel the urgency that much to watch it. Um, I think overall I was less impressed than I wanted to be
Yeah.
with the show, and it didn't have as much angst as I was hoping for. I guess
Mm.
I'm like a masochist or something because I love angst in my ciencias. I think that's what keeps me coming back for more. Because if my lip is quivering and I'm like about to cry, I'm like, they have to remedy this somehow, right?
Yeah.
Through the course of the show. And I'm waiting for that catharsis and that moment of like, oh my God, they're back together. Oh my God,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
worked it
yeah.
out, whatever. So I'm addicted to that ride, you know?
Yeah.
This one didn't have that much of that ride. The last 6 episodes or so are the kind of angst that I was hoping to have
In
more
the
throughout
middle.
the
Yeah,
show.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly, and
It's
in the middle and stuff. Um I liked the show. It wasn't the best Yansa that I've ever seen in
no.
my life. That, like I said, the OST is fire. I loved the costuming and the way that they built each of the
Mm.
realms and the look and feel of everything. I thought the production design was very beautiful
Yeah.
and high end, gorgeous CGI and stuff like that. It's all great. This was my first time seeing that the female lead that played Yetan. So I thought she was really good. I
Mm.
thought her boo, Yoshin,
Yeah, Chen Shu. That's his
yeah,
name, the male lead.
yeah. Oh, sorry, I was referring to his character's name. Amazing. Like he is really, really good.
He's so good.
Amazing guy. Like I now
So
have to
good.
deep dive on all his stuff because he blew me away in Goodbye My Princess, and now he's back to like do more damage. And I guess we'll talk about him some more.
We will. I think with them, it's what I love about Xianxia in general is if you hit the beats in terms of your acting,
Uh-huh.
it can be such a big launch pad for these actors. And both of them are actors, actually, the four of them are actors that weren't as well known. And then this hit, everybody loved it and they skyrocketed. It's
Mm,
the same thing, like arguably with Wang Hedi, Dylan Wang
yeah.
last year with Love Between Fairy and Devil.
Yeah.
Like, arguably, it's the same thing. Yes, he was known because of Meteor Garden, but that's a very niche. I still think that's a very niche drama. It might be a very gateway drama for a lot of people in terms of Chinese dramas, but that's probably not his best role, I would say. Um, it's
Well,
I
just I mean, we don't have time to go into the Wang Hedi
no no no
Meteor
no no.
Garden
Sorry.
thing, but yeah.
But that launched his career, and this year it's like he's brand deals all over the place.
Yeah,
He's
he's
like
starting to
on
make a
hot
little money. Yeah.
searches. He's like, he's set.
Yeah.
If he makes the next couple of choices really good ones, and I believe it'll be the same for like these four from the Starry Love. If they make the good choices,
Mm.
they will be on a really good path. And actually, I had only watched Leelandi in a drama or two before. I hadn't really watched, and she hadn't really caught my eye before. And I feel like this is the same thing that happened with Wankadi last year. I had watched him, he hadn't really caught my eye, and then boom. And like with Lilandi this year, it's the same thing. I loved her character, like the way she played her character was really really good. So
I love the way she played her character too. I
yeah.
thought the weakest links were I have here the Chao Feng guy, Luke
Oh
Chen.
yeah yeah yeah
Is
yeah
how he's credited on my drama list. And his girl Jing Hui, and
yeah.
then I just can't. Those two were the weakest link of the four.
Mm.
And this is a hot take. Like I don't think I cared that much
About
about
them.
them, their storyline in the Void Realm. Like, yeah, I was like,
But see, it's quite interesting actually, because for me, I was a main, I was a Yetan and Yuchin
yeah,
stan like from the get-go, just because their characters are like, it's literally like you're mixing, water and oil almost. It's like night and day. They
hmm,
are, complete opposites. And there is always just something so special to me about that. not crazy, but that very flamboyant and very outspoken girl trying to tame that very, stoic face male lead. I mean,
Yes.
yes, it's a formula that is tried and true. It's been played over and over, but it just works. It
Yeah,
just works.
it does. It does. It's tried and true. The tsundere character dude who's like very cold
Yeah.
toward
But it's
the
a
female
marshmallow
lead.
on the inside.
Marshmallow on the inside actually cares about her.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
mean to her, but
Yeah,
it's all
yeah, yeah.
forgiven in the end. Yeah, I
So
love them.
yeah, yeah, I think their two characters just worked really, really well. Um, I didn't mind the second pair. I also like them. I just feel like their story sometimes, I don't know, I feel like there is a question about, the second male lead in the spoiler section, so I'll leave it till then. But I just feel like his story needed to be a little bit fleshed out
Mm,
because I'm not sure his, actions in the first half of the drama were, he was he went,
mm,
do you know what I mean? I
yeah,
don't think he was brought
yeah,
down enough to like justify his actions in the first half. So,
yeah.
um, but yeah, overall, I will say
What did you think?
I really enjoyed it. I did.
Okay,
It's
okay.
not it's not going to beat, some of my favorite xianxuas. It isn't. But as a xianxua, I think it's on the right path
Mm,
to where I want xianxuas to be, going forwards. Um, but also, I just got to say this. There is one thing that this drama did really well, and it's something that I haven't really seen in Xianxia dramas before, and it is the two sisters and their relationship. Just because they like, a lot of the time, sisters tend to be, on bad terms, or they tend to be at each other's throats, or they tend to be, mean to each other. The fact that these two loved each other so fiercely and like to the end, if that makes sense,
uh-huh.
that's something that I really, really enjoyed. And I haven't, I mean, not blood sisters. I mean, you get to see characters, become really close with other
Mm-hmm.
characters in
Yeah,
other
you have
dramas.
sworn sisters that are
Yeah, yeah,
doing the
yeah.
same thing,
Yeah.
but for blood sisters to have such a strong bond, and especially because they set up these two characters to be at odds with each other, they
Yeah,
are complete
exactly.
opposites. They've grown up in different environments and
Mm,
they have every reason to resent one another, and they still choose not to.
yeah. And I
That's
think
very powerful.
Yeah, I think that to me was something that I feel like this drama did so well. It's like their relationship and how true to each other they stayed. Because ultimately, I mean, we'll get into it a little bit more, but they are, the twin flowers. There is, they're like the yin and yang of, each other. And you can
Mm-hmm.
totally see everything that Yetan is, Qingque isn't, and vice versa. They are like complete opposites, but they just, work so well together. So, I think that, I mean, I loved the main couple and everything. My wallpaper on my phone is still of the main couple because I just feel like their visuals together are stunning. And I will agree with you on that, that, the visuals of the drama looked really, really good, like the costuming and everything. Especially, like, I loved all the purple that they used
Purple,
and the
the violets.
blacks.
Yeah.
It does remind me, and I know this is just a link in, but it does remind me of like Ashes of Love and when they went to the demon realm and all of those like blacks and oh, I feel like the heavenly realm always gets the bad
It's
end
just
of the
white,
stick in
white,
white, and I
gold.
need them to like get out of that. Like I know white is pureness, but it's also
Yeah.
the same color that is used for death. So can we, get away from the white a little bit? So yeah, I feel like I always feel a little bit more inclined to
There's just
enjoy
no personality
the
in the
white.
heavenly realm ever. So it's always nice to like when you get out into the mortal realm and they have a trial or something, and then
So
you
good.
have some sort of demon realm and everything's really moody and emo and got different
Mm.
colors mixed with the black, and you're like, this is I live here. Like this
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah,
great.
yeah. That's what,
Yeah.
this is where my fashion is at. I
Yeah.
like I don't want to be my fashion. I don't want to be up in the heavenly realm.
If you put
But
me in white, like there will be riots in the street because I
it just
do not.
washes people
Why
out
would I
though,
want to wear
doesn't it?
white all the time?
It just washes people out. Like I need some color. Give us some color.
I'm literally
Um
wearing a black shirt right now. Okay, like
oh, I'm in purple. I just
and you're
realized
in
I'm
purple.
purple.
Perfect.
So,
On brand.
Yeah, exactly. exactly. But also I just feel like with Shantra especially, I always like, and this happens in every Shantra, I think it's always a theme that they always take on that, the heavenly realm isn't always good and the
Oh,
demon
they're
realm
terrible.
isn't always bad, and I always really enjoy this because I think in a lot of dramas, especially like maybe Western dramas, everything is always black and white. It's either good or it's bad. And I really dislike when, dramas do that. So with Shansha, I always love the fact that they do always go either, the heavenly realms, they never tend to be that good to be at anyways. Like most of the evil characters seem to be residing up there for them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
parents included. Oh god, why are parents never good in Shansha dramas?
Yeah,
Jeez.
they're the
I
worst.
know, they really are. So, which character or characters really stood out to you?
Oh my God, Yetan,
I know I love Yatan. I feel
the
like
best.
she's
I am her. She is me. I actually, I kind of take that back because I do feel like I'm more of a right between the two sisters is kind of where I reside
yeah.
because I don't feel like I'm like a confrontational person who I don't know. I'm not like a fighter per se, but like
Mm.
if you mess with
Push you.
me,
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm like
you're
that.
gonna get like Yetan
Yeah, I'm like that.
final few episodes where she's just like at it. So
I tend to
it,
be I'm the same. I tend to go I I go, I'm usually fine, like I don't, but I can very quickly turn, very, moody if you
watch
press my
yourself.
buttons.
Watch yourself. So but I also feel like I admired Yetan her characterization because she was so unmerciful at times, very level-headed and fair, and she said it like it was. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? Like she didn't hold back nothing. She was constantly dragging people down for what they've done. Like she was very much a harbinger of justice here.
Yeah.
And I really liked that about her character is that even if status was against her, this person is above her, so to
Yeah, yeah,
speak,
yeah.
and she should be showing respect and there's decorum and all of these different values in the heavenly realm. She was still like, you suck.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
here's why.
Love her.
So I admired that so much about her. And I do feel like I have that in me as well, where
Mm.
I'm not going to hold back if you have done something wrong, wronged
Yeah.
me. She was taken to task like the heavenly emperor. She was taken to task like all these different deities who
She was wiping their
she was
butts and
wiping
I
the
loved
floor
it.
with them. And I'm like, yes, like come on, come through. Cause usually you have the sister character, Chinqui, who is not doing any of
She's your
that. She's very
typical,
passive.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. She's your very typical female lead going into a Xianxia drama. And Ye
Yes.
Tan is usually what you get by the end of the Xianxia. So
Correct.
I loved the fact that you just get both
Just
right
get
from
her.
the get-go.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I
Um,
really loved her character. She was the reason why I kept watching. I thought I would keep watching because of Yu Chin's
yeah, yeah,
character,
no,
but
no.
no,
She
like I loved her.
shines.
Yeah,
She
she's the
does.
best part of the show. I
She
truly feel that.
shines
Yeah.
so much. I love the fact that, she is very righteous. And actually, there is a scene right towards the end. I don't think this is very much of a big, big spoiler, but it's a scene where everybody's kind of like coming at the two sisters. And, this is the perfect time where you see their, how different they are because Chinque is just like, oh no, but we can't fight because, we'll show. And and Yetan is just like, look, I'm not going to sit back and
Yeah.
take it. If they're
Yeah.
coming at me, they're going to get it. And I'm
Yes.
just like, yes, you do. Yes.
Yeah,
Because, like,
Tana's like, I'm gonna smoke them if they come
yeah,
near
yeah,
me
yeah. If they
or you.
come,
So I
like,
don't know why you want to like show mercy here because this is ridiculous.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I absolutely was 100% behind
Yeah,
Yetan
yeah, yeah.
versus Chinque. Like Chinque is making all of the most submissive and peacemaking decisions,
Yes.
and like that's all fine and good, but like homegirl, we gotta take some action here, okay? These people are not gonna stop. We gotta
I
we
feel
gotta muscle
like,
up.
I feel like for me, the best description of the two sisters is Chinque is a healer and Yetan is a fighter.
Mm-hmm,
That's
mm-hmm.
like, the two of them in a very, very, broad way of sense. It's
Yeah.
that one is a healer and the other is a fighter. So whereas one, it's not like Yetan likes to kill, she doesn't. She
No,
doesn't
she's gonna
enjoy
do what she
it,
has to
but
do.
she's going to do what she has to do. Whereas Chinque is like, once she almost has this fear of like getting, but I also like the fact that Chinque will, if she sees that she needs to get to that point of I need to protect the ones I love, she will step up, and she did eventually do it. But she, like I said, I think has very much the growth, even though slower, because you already have Yetan as, the what you would see as the end product in a Xianxia drama.
Yeah.
So you don't get to see as much out of Chinque as you would out of Yetan,
Yeah.
But
I think
yeah.
the Chinque character, like I just didn't like her acting as well.
Mm. She's very
And
meek, isn't she, for
it's
a lot
very
of it?
meek, it's very one note. It's
Mm.
very like, is she happy? Is she sad? Like, I'm not quite sure what she's feeling because nothing was hyperbole or over the top for her. Everything was just kind of like mid.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like she's just playing in the same octave versus Yetan like taking over all of the different octaves and going up and down and here and there.
I don't know until what extent that wasn't a calculated move on like the show's part by the director or whatnot, or by the screenwriter, to not take that spotlight, because at the end of the day, yes, they're all billed as main cast, but if you realistically look at the show, Li Landi and Chen Qingshu, they are
Mm-hmm.
the main couple of the drama. And it's
Yeah.
like, until what point don't you want to steal that, spotlight away from them to, the second couple? Which actually, if when this was airing, everybody was going crazy for the second couple as well as the first couple, there was like a huge waves going for both of the couples. I was very much a Yetan and Yuchin girl right from the beginning, but a lot of people were like wanting more of the second couple within the drama. And I was
I
like,
wanted less. I was like, this is dry as hell. Like
well,
she's just
no.
so dry,
They
right? Like,
moved they moved very, like, I think their story, I don't know what it was, but their story was almost an afterthought sometimes.
mm,
So I think like they wanted, the focus on the main couple, but you can't make 40 episodes of just the main couple. I mean,
you could,
you
but you
could,
know,
you
I know what
could,
you
you
mean.
could, but you can't. You know what I mean? So I think it's almost like, and actually, if you look at this screenwriter as a whole, and if you go back and look at Ashes of Love, for example, their second couple wasn't, as big, nowhere near as big as Jinmi and, Shu Fang was. It
Mhm.
was them, it was do or die all the way with them. And I feel like it might be, something that, who knows, maybe
But if you're
Shansha.
okay, so if you're talking about second couples and you're bringing up the second couple in Ashes of Love, I do feel like they had a really good trope, like the same trope that's in this one, which
It
is,
is actually, it
you
is.
know, the cold uh dude tsundere lead
Mm-hmm.
and then a very endearing and self-sacrificing woman with him. That's the same thing as our main lead in this, our main couple in this show
Mm.
is the like the second couple in Ashes of Love. And so they sort of have like a really juicy storyline and
They
they
do.
have their own human trial and it's very angsty as well.
Mm.
So I don't know why, but I just was not jiving with Chao Feng and Qingque like at all in the show.
I also think, right, I was thinking about this the other day actually, and I think it's, so when we have we were talking about it just because before we started recording, but the 40 episode rule or whatever. When you have 60 episodes, the story can go into the second couples and it can develop a little bit more. When you condense that drama down to, 40 episodes or whatever it may be, like that, they're not going to give development to other characters because the focus needs to be on the main couple. But I've also found that with the 60 episode dramas, I their endings land slightly better for me, and these 40 episodes seem to fumble their endings. So I feel like they just need to find a middle ground and be like, right, a story that's really good pace throughout it, and basically that, the ending lands well. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see where they go.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I just don't think Chao Feng and Chin Kui had like that much chemistry, especially because of how she was playing it.
mm,
Like, did I feel like she was that in love with him? No. Did I feel like he was infatuated with her? Certainly. Was I compelled to watch them? No.
yeah. I
So,
their their love wasn't necessarily like their storyline wasn't necessarily like a favorite of mine from the show as a whole. Um, like I said, I was definitely here for the main couple, and this is Yetan's story. Like
it
I
is.
because do you know what it is as well? She is the underdog. Like
Yeah.
she's very much the underdog. So to me, she's the one I want to root for. She's the one that's like had this really, really obscene, childhood.
Yeah.
And yes, you can argue Chinque tried as hard as she could
No, she didn't.
well,
No, she
tried.
didn't. So that's the thing about Chinque is I liked her. I think they should have focused more on like her learning about like her privilege because she grew up
Mm,
in such an insulated beautiful world. And
mm,
yes, is an extremely compassionate person and she loved her sisters, so she tried to sort of make her life better in small ways.
yeah.
And but it's not like she was overturning the system for her sister or
Yeah.
anything like that. And it wasn't until she got to the void realm that she really was like, you know
What's
what,
happening?
like if this was meant for my sister, like this absolutely sucks. They're
Yeah,
treating me like
yeah.
terribly here. So she just got a taste,
Of what
a
her sister would have
little
gotten.
taste
Yeah.
of what her sister has been living through for her entire life. So that bit of Chinque and her characterization was more interesting to me than any love story that they cooked up with her and Xiao Feng.
Actually, now that you mentioned it, I feel like they could have taken that story further of her like
Exactly.
realizing,
Yeah.
like, what really. I feel like she was always very sheltered and very
Yeah.
doted on.
Mm-hmm.
So when
Just
she
spoiled.
arrives to the void, it's like she gets a very rude and very quick awakening to what the real world is, even though, the void is necessarily not what the human realm will be like,
Yeah.
but the people will be, people will be people
Yeah.
wherever
She's
you
around
are. So,
brutes now.
God, that's true. That's true. They really are, aren't they? They're just like with their man caves and whatnot.
They're talking
Um,
like this all the
I
time. And
know.
like,
Especially like the first Prince Wu Dai with like those
yeah.
big muscles. He's like, I that character was just, I don't
Yeah.
even know.
That's an animal. And they just put clothes on him.
I don't even know what was happening there
Girl,
his
I don't know.
with his character.
Oh my God.
But but it kind of would make sense actually that he would fall in love for this very meek, need to
Beauty and the Beast.
protect character. Oh my God. It totally is. There you go. Beauty and the Beast. But yeah, I wish actually now thinking about it, I wish they would have explored that in her character a bit more. I think it would have led to a really interesting storyline
Yeah.
from
Because she's
her.
so good.
She's almost too good.
She's too good. Like she
Yeah,
didn't have a lot of growth.
no.
She's the same throughout,
Mm,
which
yeah.
annoyed me.
I feel like, see, this is why when you have like I said, I feel like her character is your typical female lead in Xianxia at the start of
Hmm.
the the drama. But because you already have Yetan doing all the heavy lifting in a sense, in terms of the character that tends to become the female lead in a Xianxia later on, they kind of like don't give Chinque a lot to work with, in terms of development. She's like, the show is almost saying, well, she's already good. Like, we don't need to, change
But
her
then,
in a
okay,
sense.
but then on that note, like, why we got to change the girl that's supposedly not, you know, doesn't have all of the virtues of this society and this genre and all that stuff.
Oh, don't, because I loved her. Like,
Like, I don't think she should have changed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
yes, she went through trials. Yes, she learned some things. Yes, she grew for sure. But like, at no point did I think, oh, she needs to be more like Chinque.
no, no, no.
Like, yeah.
And I feel
Um,
like with Year 10, actually, I kind of like that they never quite break her. Whatever they throw at her, they never, never break her. And
mm,
it speaks to like this inner strength that this character has. And it's like almost coming from, her experience, this childhood that she had, which wasn't ideal at all. And, it brought her this inner strength that it's really, really damn hard to break. And actually, I don't see throughout the whole show, you don't see her break. Like, you see all of this stuff being thrown at her. And
mm-hmm,
yes, she breaks down and cries, but she doesn't break. She gets up, she goes at it again. And it's like, that's why I love her character so much, because she is the typical underdog of character that goes, they keep pushing her down, but she keeps climbing her way up. And
mm-hmm,
that's the kind of character I love to root for, because who doesn't love an
mm-hmm.
underdog? Like,
Absolutely. Yeah. I love
so
her.
yes. Next up, how was, I think we've already touched a little bit on this, but how was the world building done in the drama? What do you think about the world building and the storytelling within the drama?
I don't think they need to do much storytelling or world building for the heavenly realm, but they always sort of, we have these deities here, and we have the jade deity
Yeah,
and the
yeah, yeah.
thunder god and all this stuff, and these are their jobs, and Yuchin is in charge of the
The
constellations
stars,
and the night
yeah.
sky and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, fine. So they give them jobs usually. You know what they do for a
For
living,
living.
so to speak. And and then the world building usually happens with, I think, the opposite, the antithesis to the heavenly realm. And in this case, it's the void realm, which,
Mm.
first of all, love the usage of the word void.
I know, it's so cool,
Love
isn't it?
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's like demon realm is out.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're void now.
Void realm.
I feel like,
So,
actually, I feel like this like a recent theme where they're changing up the name, because for
oh,
Love Between Fairy and Devil, it wasn't
yeah.
Demon Realm either. It was,
Moon
Moon
tribe? What
Moon
is it?
Tribe. Yeah, Moon
Moon
Tribe.
supreme, moon
Yeah,
tribe.
Moon
Yeah.
Tribe. So they're changing, maybe Demons out, and
Demons out.
yeah, yeah, that's it.
Gotta
That's
go.
it. Yeah, that's it.
Old. That's old.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The void just sounds so much more powerful though,
I
doesn't
love
it?
that. Yeah. And they have their own look and feel and sort of celestial body that's perched behind all of these buildings and rocky outcrops that seem
Yeah.
to pervade their world. I just loved it. I thought that the use of color was stunning, and all of the throne rooms and things like that were super grand and beautiful to look at.
Mm.
Uh let me see. I think the beast realm is probably pretty cool as
I
well.
love the Beast Realm, and it doesn't get enough like
Doesn't get
screen
enough
time, does
love. Yeah.
it? Because it's just
Yeah.
like a little side story. And I feel like, right, they played it as the Beast Realm would be kind of like weak to the other two realms, but I feel like they could probably be, on the same level as it, at the very least, like the Void Realm, because I mean, they
Yeah.
got
So
like,
I can understand that the human realm is like, we don't have magic. Like, we
yeah, we
can't stand
don't
toe to toe with these
exactly.
people. We live for like a minute and then we die. These
Yeah,
people live for
exactly.
thousands of years. Like, we can't stand toe to toe with these people. The beast realm is another immortal clan.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
have
yeah.
they live forever, or a very long time, and they use magic. So I'm like, okay, there could have been an opportunity in the show for
Mm.
them to sort of grow a pair and, stand up
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
the heavenly realm and the void realm, and they never took that
Did
opportunity.
no. And they
They
was
never sort of
yeah.
built them up or showed them gaining momentum and courage to do that. So
But to be honest, I do have a grip with both the Void Realm and, especially the leaders of both realms. But that's spoilers, so we'll get into it
okay,
like later because
perfect.
yeah, I have a grip with the two of
I
them.
love I love when people complain
Oh
about
yeah, yeah,
shows.
yeah,
Tell
yeah.
me in the spoiler section.
We
Okay.
will. We definitely will.
So the
So
last thing that I'll say, sorry, about world building, I have this note here, is I love when they have, so everyone is sort of has a grew from something, like I was a, a lily, and
yeah,
then I
yeah, yeah,
got
yeah, yeah,
I got some mystical water poured on me and then I just took form or something. Like there's
yeah,
always something. So or what their job is. So like the thunder god might have like lightning bolts on or
yeah.
something. So I love when they have motifs on the costuming and on the jewelry and the
Mm-hmm.
headpieces that relate to what that person does or is.
Yeah.
So I think Husui, the coriander
Yes.
plant.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The
Oh
coriander
my
plants.
god, I loved her
She's
outfit like
got the little
later on
coriander bits,
with the
doesn't
little
she?
coriander
Yeah.
leaves on her headpiece, and she was dressed in this beautiful light greens, and
Yeah.
I just loved her costuming later on in the show. And I also loved for Man. She's like a pink
Oh my god,
bird.
I loved Man.
Yes, so
The
she had
show did her
like,
dirty, didn't it?
oh god,
We'll
we'll
get
talk
into that
about
one as well, but
we'll talk about it. But yeah, so her costuming was all pink. She had
Mhm.
feathers on her costuming, and then she had little metal feathers
She
on
did.
a lot of her jewelry and earrings and headpieces and stuff. So I was like, oh my god, I love when they do that.
I
I
feel
love it.
I feel like actually the Beast realm did that a lot better than any of the
Uh-huh.
other realms because I suppose, they can just do stuff that's like, from their animal form. They can put that on
Mm,
their costumes. I mean, even the prince from the realm had like teeth on like his costume and
yes, because he's a
everything.
wolf.
A wolf. Bless him. I don't know what kind of wolf that is. That looks like a very white puppy to me, but bless
Well,
him.
yeah, like it was, we only saw the wolf like a couple of times,
Yeah,
and then we saw an
a puppy. A
adorable
puppy.
white furred puppy the rest of the time. I just, oh,
Oh, that
I
was
love that.
I love it. I love it when they bring like little animals into
Yeah.
the equation.
Do you know, I felt like a certain type of way when they first showed the Void Realm and you see the Void Tyrant,
Mm.
and this man has like a full beard.
He does. He does.
I was
That's
like,
very
oh,
rare.
it's Void Daddy, I guess. Like, I was like, okay, I see you.
He
I
has a
see you.
very particular look, doesn't he, about it that
Yes.
you don't really see in like Shantra dramas. Like I feel like he's
You
very
see like the little goatee and like
yeah,
the
he's full
scraggly sort of
beard.
beard. Yeah, but the full beard, I was like,
Mm.
ooh, that's unique.
That is.
That's unique.
His character, like, even like just the actor's look itself is very, very different to like what I've
Masculine. Like
seen.
I
Yeah.
they're so against like showing
Mm.
that type of masculinity in ciencias, especially because I
Yeah.
guess it's just a costume
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
piece
yeah.
or something. But to see the Void Tyrant in full beard, he had long hair, he had like these furrowed brows the whole time. He just really looked masculine and imposing in sort of a standard, like
Yeah.
everyday kind of
Shantra.
way,
Yeah.
not very mystical. And
No.
I was like, okay, it just, I thought it worked. I thought it
Mm.
was unique about him.
I feel like it worked for, what the realm kind of stands for because the void, they are power above everything else and like brute force above everything else. So that kind of like had to be displayed in a way through the characters. I mean, Wu Dai, which is the guy who plays the first, the very muscly prince,
Mm-hmm.
that is the characterization of that realm in a
Mm-hmm.
man form. I mean, it's like the brute force and whatnot. So I feel
Mm-hmm.
like the Void Tyrant kind of fits that as well. Whereas if you look at Chao Fang, he doesn't quite fit that,
He's
brute
very pretty.
force. He's very pretty,
So
exactly.
pretty. Yeah.
Exactly. So he doesn't quite fit that, specific part of the realm, I don't think. But, I feel like they did pretty good at showing that it is all about, brute power and brute force for
Hmm.
that realm. So
I agree. I do have Chow Fung is not Chow Fung in my notes. It's Void Bay.
Void Bay, I love
Void
it.
Bay. Yeah.
He is really, really pretty to look at.
When I
Even
first saw him, I was like, ooh,
yeah.
I beg your pardon.
I don't know if you saw it. They went to, I think it's Beijing Fashion Week or something, and it was him, so Chen Mushi and the his co-star, He Xuan Lin, and so the two, Qing Kui and
Yeah,
you
Chow
know,
Fung.
Chofang.
Void
And
Bay.
they had like he had this blazer on and it was opened right like no shirt underneath, opened to like just button up one button and it was like
What?
open. I mean, no, sure, I need to send you these because
Set for free? He did that for
yes.
free?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. And they actually they both look stunning because they're like in black and red, and both of them like she's got
Oh my
almost this
gosh.
flowy dress that looks like something out of a xiancha, but it's like in black and red, and this fan, and he's just like there looking gorgeous, but with like short hair. And he looks even better with the short
Oh
hair.
God.
So, because his wig wasn't the best wig that I've seen
It
out
like
there.
moved kind of stiffly,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 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 yeah,
like he turned his head and like the hair was like
yeah.
like straight.
His wig wasn't the best thing.
I
So
also thought Chinque's wig wasn't that great because they had like
mm,
shots of sort of like the top of the wig,
mm.
and it just looked very plasticky.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
had that
yeah.
weird sort of coarse plasticky look to
Yeah.
it. And the other wigs didn't have that. It was just
No.
there are two wigs that I was like, these are not
I tell
the
you
best
whose
wigs.
I tell you whose wig was always on point. Our male leads, like Yu
All of his
Chin's,
wigs.
yeah, all of his like Yu Chin's wigs were on point, and I feel like that man looks better with the wig on than he does with the wig off.
I haven't really seen him without the wig and the bun and all that stuff
It's
because
just
in
because
Goodbye
like
My Princess it was another
when they
Santa.
pull like all of his hair back like they do for Yu Chin, like his face and his bone structure just hits, just looks really good with that
I'll
wig.
tell you what, it was doing things to me when he wore the wig for one of the lives,
Have
and
I
it was the
missed?
last life that she had to like deal with. It was like the very
Oh,
um
oh, oh,
I don't
yeah,
want to
yeah, yeah.
spoil too
No,
much
no,
at
no,
this
yes,
point,
yes,
but I do
I
want to
know
talk
what you
about this
mean.
look and this wig that
Oh
he
my
was
God.
sporting in this
Yes,
life because
yes,
like
yes, I
it
know,
was
I know.
the like the
It
artsy
so good. Yeah, yeah.
one.
When Ren.
Wenren.
Oh, when Ren. Yeah.
Wenren was actually my type. Okay. Like when I saw him, I was like, oh, I got a type because that is
Stunning.
10 out of
It's
10.
so good. He
It's
looked
so
so good.
like the way that the hair was like falling and it was perfectly
And
wavy.
the deep V's on like his
Oh,
clothes. I was like, well,
I was like,
wow.
can we just stay here like for the next 20 episodes? Because
Stunning.
he is
That
giving
look needed more screen time.
justice for Wenren because he got like the least amount of time, it felt like.
He did, and he looked the best.
He looked the best.
Oh my God, no, I totally agree. Like he looked so damn good in that. And actually, there is so a couple I think it was like a year ago. Yeah, there was like this song. It's this TikTok trend with like the infinity song that like people then put a light behind them and then they're shirtless. I don't know. But he did this trend a year ago and then he did it. He said, if the Starry Love reaches 10,000, I will redo this clip again. And he
What?
did. I'm sure I must
Send
have
it to
sent this to
me.
you
Oh my
because
God.
he's like, the man has muscles. The man has muscles, and it's like, yeah. And then like they did a like a variety show together, and they were teasing him about it, like about him doing the the light behind, and then like full like you just see all the muscles on his back, and
Jesus.
he has the audacity to say that he's shy because he's not there yet. He needs a little bit more added to like his like he wants to make him bigger. I'm like, are you kidding me? You look
Um,
you look just
just
fine.
because you're not at your personal goal doesn't mean I don't want to see the process.
Oh,
Okay.
I think that he broke the whole internet. Everybody was like sharing this clip of him just
Oh
like
my God.
I'll have to
This
send it
man,
to you.
he knows what he's doing.
He totally does.
He
He
knows what
totally
he's doing.
does.
Yeah.
Oh
He's
my
not
god.
ignorant.
He's not. He's not.
Yeah.
So
What a tease.
So yeah. I think that's oh, I do have one more question.
All
How
right.
does this drama compare to other Xianxia dramas for you? Like where would you place it?
So if I had like an A tier, which is where all the Mount Rushmore ones
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
live,
yeah.
I think this would be like the B tier
Mm-hmm.
because it's very good. It has a lot going for it, but I think some of the storylines were weak. We already talked about some of
Yeah.
them, and I think it took some narrative chances towards the beginning, which we can talk about in spoilers, and I was
Mm-hmm.
really sort of taken aback by the direction of that as far as just the way the plot shook out, but I just think it's solid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would say.
It's a
And
solid.
actually there is um we'll get into it in the spoiler section, but from the book, there is quite a big difference that goes from the book to the screen. That
Jeez.
people were like, at the time, people were like, let this not make it into the screen. But I will give you all the tea in the spoiler section for this.
Please,
I
please
will.
give me the tea. I'm
Um,
thirsty.
but yeah, so basically, I think this is probably, I would say, I would actually agree with that. I would put it like as I was thinking about like what to rate this, and I still haven't quite figured out where I want to rate it, for me personally. But really, really loved some aspects of it, but there's some
Yeah,
aspects that still need a little bit of work. But like I said, I feel like Shansha is going, it's taking steps to go into the right direction, because I feel for like a good, you had like 2018, 2019, which were really, really good
I
Shansha
agree.
years. You have like
Yeah,
Ashes of Love and,
yeah,
Eternal Love, all of these big, big Shansha names came from about those 2 years. And then,
yeah.
like, for 2 or 3 years, the Xianxia genre just seemed so weak. It seemed like
Mm.
nothing really was coming,
And you've said this
from there.
in other episodes that you've done is that this genre sort of got oversaturated
It
and the
did, yeah,
quality
yeah,
went down.
yeah. Yeah, it
So
has
I
happened.
agree.
It has happened where, like, if you go and look at some of them, I mean, they are. I mean, you've seen one of those because you went and saw the. Oh, I always keep forgetting the name. The one with Wankadi in it that has like a dragon in it or something.
Yeah, Miss
Oh,
Dragon.
Miss Dragon. I mean, that is. I'm traumatized by that
It
drama
is
in general.
probably one of the worst C dramas I've ever seen. I got about halfway.
Yeah,
I
yeah, I never
wasted.
made it. Yeah,
I
yeah.
rarely feel like I wasted
Oh
time.
no, you wasted time on
I
that one.
wasted
Yeah,
time
yeah, you
watching
wasted
Miss
time.
Dragon. Miss
Yeah.
the Dragon? I don't even know.
So I feel like that was the quality that we were getting out of Xianxu's, because everybody wanted to make them, but they weren't making them correctly. They weren't making them good. They just wanted the turnover of a Xianxu.
You
And
know what? I'll say that like Xianxias are nothing without their plots.
exactly.
And I'm a plot person, so
Mm.
like if the plot isn't up to snuff, I'll drop it like a bag of
Yeah,
hot
yeah, yeah,
nickels.
yeah.
And if they're just focusing on other aspects of the show, like in Miss the Dragon, it was very similar to um we were talking about this before we got on. It was, oh my god. Anyway, it was a drama that basically had a lot of really nice moments between the couple that felt
Yeah.
completely unearned.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And it
yeah.
came like out of nowhere because the plot hadn't done the job of
Of
building up
dictator.
the
Yeah, yeah,
couple,
yeah.
right? So, I mean,
It was
this
moments.
show
It was just moments that were happening because the writer wanted it to happen and not
Right.
necessarily because the plot dictated it that way.
Exactly. So to see some of these newer C dramas doing the work, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak, feels really nice
Yeah.
and almost like a return to form.
Yeah, I feel like they are moving in the right direction. It's going to take a little bit, of time because at the end of the day, there are still a lot of people that will watch anything that their favorite actor or actress is in.
Hmm.
So a lot of the time, a lot of crap, let's be honest, will be made because they know that
It's a
that
bankable star.
actor, exactly, that people will go watch it. But
Hmm.
I feel like, especially in the last year or so, C drama has moved away from quantity over quality, and I feel like they're really, really moving into their quality era. And this year has been really good to prove that. Like there's been consistently good dramas in every month of the year so far. I mean, I know we're only 3 months in, but that's not necessarily the case for Chinese dramas a lot of the time. So I'm excited to see where the genre goes. I feel like there's going to be you know I feel like Love Between Fairy and Devil started kind of like a shake up in the genre, and you kind of like are seeing things move
Hmm.
along. So, you
Yeah.
know, only time will tell. But
Yeah.
yeah, that is it for the, no
Non-spoiler.
spoilers. Yes, no. Wait, if you haven't watched this drama, please go watch it and come back. Or if you're like me and you adore spoilers, listen on at your own peril. That is it for part one of the Starry Love review with Jess from the Daybuck K Rambles podcast. I just want to say thank you again, Jess, for coming on. I absolutely had such a good time recording with you, and I cannot wait to do it again. And if you guys enjoyed this part, please come back next week to listen to all our spoilery thoughts on the Starry Love. There is many. The second part is longer than the first. So I hope to see you next week. And if you want, go follow me on all of my socials. Go follow Jess on all of her socials. And make sure to come and chat to us about this drama. If you've watched them, what have you thought? And I'll see you next week for part 2. Bye. This has been another episode of the Tea and Soju Asian Drama Podcast. I'm your host, Liliana, and you can come and chat to me on Instagram, Tea and Soju Pod, all one word, and on Twitter, tea_soju_pod. You can also email me at teandsojupodcast@gmail.com. If you would like to support this podcast, please consider joining Patreon for extra content. Lastly, if you enjoy this podcast, please help by rating and reviewing wherever you listen to help others find this drama corner. I'll leave everything linked in the description notes. See you next time for more Asian drama chatter.